Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope I find you well. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing fantastic. Basically, I'm 7 days from coming back to YouTube. Uploaded a couple of videos. They've both done really well, so thank you anybody who subscribed at the back of them. Thank you for the likes and the comments. I really do appreciate it. I feel like we're getting good conversation going here. I'm not just uploading a video to watch. I'm uploading a video that, gets people talking, and we get a discussion going, which I really like, and I'm hoping to do the same with today's video. Basically what we're doing, and I alluded to it in the last Civ 7 video, is we're looking over some gameplay. So it's not like gameplay's been out for a while. Like this video from PotatoMcWhiskey's been out for 2 weeks, and so it's nothing new. Like if you're in the Civ community, you probably would have seen some of the gameplay already, but from my perspective, I haven't really watched any gameplay yet. The game, at least the early access edition, is coming out in 2 days, I believe. I'm recording this on the 4th of February right now, so I feel like now's the right time to start teasing myself a little bit, looking through things and like how the game looks, how the game plays, and someone like PotatoMcWhiskey, who initially got me into Civ, taught me everything I knew about playing Civ 6. I want to hear this guy's thoughts in particular. So if you're not already subscribed to PotatoMcWhiskey, then go and subscribe to him. I doubt like anybody who's watching this video isn't subscribed to him, because he's probably one of the bigger Civ creators out there. But I will leave his channel link in the description below. And with that being said, that takes us on to the gameplay now, in which we're going to be looking at here. He's doing a deity max difficulty walkthrough with the Civ Tecumseh. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Basically, a Shawnean chief, challenge westward expansion in the US. All the geopolitics of this. But basically, yeah, he's got burning arrow units. He's got a Watanabe, which seems to be like something to do with traders. I don't know if that's just like a unique trader unit or something new to the game entirely, and how that works. And pot cop, which gives 1+ gold, 1+ food for each adjacent resource. So, yeah, I'm not sure how that necessarily works. I guess it's just generally a resource there. Then you just get those adjacency bonuses. But I'm sure Mr. PotatoMcWhiskey will be showing us in this. Just quickly before we get started, what I want to say is we're not going to be watching the video. I do encourage you to go over and watch PotatoMcWhiskey's video. I'm just going to be pausing at certain moments and trying to establish like kind of moves he's making, any new units that we see, any new mechanics that we see, really, to kind of call them out. And kind of, I'm looking for this to prep me basically for the Civ 7 launch, because I will be playing it on the release day, and I will be either streaming or making videos on it, so do keep tuned. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. If you can see here on my last video, the amount of people that are not subscribed to the channel that watch the videos is astronomical, so if you could do me a massive favour and subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate that. I'm just going to call out straight off the bat here, as PotatoMcWhiskey's doing, like, how good do the models look? The models look amazing. I'm very happy. You can see there in the background a little bit kind of what the actual map and terrain looks like, which is a massive upgrade from Civ 6. I mean, ultimately for me, I don't really care about graphics and things like that. I care about the gameplay. I mean, I play old school RuneScape. It gives you an idea of kind of how high up graphical improvements are on my list of requirements, but nevertheless, really nice to see. Okay, I've just paused it here quickly to kind of talk about something that I spoke about in the leader breakdown, and it's basically how settlers and founders work, and how cities and towns work, basically. So, as you can see there, the starting unit that he's got is not a settler unit from all that I can tell. It's a founder unit, and that's how you found your city. And then you can make settlers to settle towns around your cities. I'm sure there's a way to get more founders, and then you can settle more cities, I think. I'm not really sure how that works. You can kind of see there, it's a little bit hidden by the title here at the top, but I put my arrow on it. You can see here the 0 out of 2 cities. I think that's based on settlement. So there is like essentially like a settlement limit. I don't know if that takes down happiness if you go over it, or how that dynamic works, but that's something to consider. And while we've got the full screen up here, I was mentioning it before, like how beautiful does like the fog of war look, and how that's all designed, and how the map tiles look. I noticed that like river tiles, or rivers even, just run directly through tiles. I don't think that was a thing on Civ 6, correct me if I'm wrong, because I can't ever remember not being able to place a district on a tile because of a river. So it's nice that that's a thing now, and I'm sure that there's stuff in place where there is stuff to build on those on those tiles. Again, he's just settled the city here, Cahokia, and like, oh, how great does that city look? It just on the eye, beautiful straight off the bat. Again, it'll be interesting to see this how it develops through the ages, because obviously you settle a city first on Civ 6, and it's only when you start to build up the walls that the cities start to take shape. It'll be interesting to see how this develops. Okay, so PotatoMcWhiskey here has just mentioned mementos, and that is a new thing in the game. Again, I'm not still like 100% sure on how that works. But it seems like you pick these before the game starts, and you can get, so he's got 1 plus economic attribute point and 1 plus diplomatic attribute point, if I can get my words out, through 2 different mementos. I believe that's how it works. Like, you pick them through before the game and apply them to your character. And I know there's like a thing about like basically giving you incentives to play different characters and level them up and unlock different things. I think that's what mementos are locked behind, if I understand things correctly, alongside potentially other things as well. But just a cool point to we'll point out. Okay, he's just brought up here the leader attribute page, and you get like cultural bonuses, diplomatic, economic, expansionist, militaristic, and scientific. And the way PotatoMcWhiskey's kind of explained it here is it's essentially kind of mimicking a governor page a little bit. Not really, but sort of is. And I'm guessing you can just go through and level up your leader attributes throughout the game. Dependent on maybe wildcard points that I can see there, or maybe you can see there the amount of points that you've got at the top. Maybe just by going through the game you unlock more, or maybe that's to do again with the leveling up system. I'm not sure how you gain these. Probably get a bit of insight later on into this video, but yeah, very cool. Very cool that you can do stuff to improve happiness off the bat and things like that, because normally that's like the sort of hard slog. If you get yourself into an early war, it's trying to improve the happiness of your empire, trying to rush an entertainment complex when you've got so many other things that you need to start building, and you don't really have time to be messing around with entertainment complexes or doing trades to get luxuries and things like that. So it's cool that that's there. Something cool he's just mentioned here is that you basically, when you settle your first city, you don't start with a scout or a warrior, which is interesting. You basically get the option to choose that yourself, and you can see there that both a scout and a warrior basically have 1 turn each to basically be produced. So you do have that option of either one. Personally, I've always been a guy that's gone for warriors over scouts. I just feel like that extra protection to your empire in case you get attacked by barbarians definitely helps, and there's not much of a movement penalty bonus there. The benefit with a scout is that you can, you get that movement bonus, and however slight it might be, and you can level it up through finding things like wonders, etc. And then you can just send that scout off. You can put it on automatic exploration or whatever, and then focus on then building your army. But again, I've just always been the warrior type. I guess, does it cost the same amount of gold to run each unit, I wonder? I've never even thought about that in Civ 6 really, but interesting. Just dipping in here, the basically showing off the tech tree, and the tech tree seems to be pretty much the same as it was in previous years, but the main difference being that you seem to have like mastery under certain skills, so like, or certain techs I should say. So you've got writing there, you've got masonry, you've got the wheel, you've got bronze work and currency. You all have masteries beneath them. It seems to be like once you get past the initial 3 that they're just under every single tech, and I don't know if that's the case going forward. But it's really interesting to potentially... Oh no, I can see there irrigation hasn't got a mastery. But it'd be interesting to see, because it doesn't really show us here what you unlock from those masteries, unless that's just like a known thing that I'm unaware of. So I'll be interested to see when PotatoMcWhiskey gets there, and if he chooses to go for a mastery and what that actually unlocks. Maybe few bonus buildings, like maybe writing, it's connected to mastery unlocks universities, and that's how it works instead of later on in the tech tree. But yeah, I mean, just be patient and wait and see, I guess. Okay, he's just mentioned here that basically that you see on the screen right now is what's called a luxurious encampment, which essentially replaces the old what he describes as goody huts. I forget the name. Tribal villages is essentially replacing those. So just a bit of a heads up, if you see that, send your units over there and get some freebies. This is really interesting. So it seems he's got city growth here in the main city, and it's letting him select the tile in which he wants the city to grow. Unless I'm just really inexperienced, I don't believe you ever got the chance to do that in Civ 6, unless this is like a unique ability of the leader or something. Really cool that you can just pick where you grow your city, because I've always had it where you're next to someone else's city and you're both growing in that same direction, and maybe there's an iron tile there or a horse tile early game that you want to grab. Like, you can pick to go in that direction and grab that tile. So it didn't quite work how I thought it would. He's basically picked one of the tiles that was already within his borders, But is it now that he's actively working that tile, so now that he's gone to 2 population, he can choose to work that tile and put someone on there to actively work it, which, yeah, you can actually see that visually in the game as well, unlike the previous game. And then it basically culture bombs the tiles around it. I believe that's how it worked. Either way, very, very cool. Okay, that's interesting. He's just said that basically you see those enemy settlers, AI set. Well, not everyone's AI, aren't they? Really, but they're basically the quick end of it is that they're not barbarians anymore. They're basically independent camps, and so those scouts now that they've found this city will go off to the independent camps and go back to there. So I believe there was a mod that or an addition to the game that. Barbarian clans in Civ 6. I never used it myself, but I'm curious on whether that mimics this. Okay, I just wanted to quickly mention here, it's pretty cool that basically you can see his settler there in the river to the left of his city. Settlers can navigate the rivers, or units can navigate the rivers. I think that's pretty cool, because again, that wasn't something that was available in Civ 6 to my knowledge. So yeah, pretty cool, because I guess if you're a little bit inland, but there's like a coast to the left of him here, and he wanted to go and get them all to sea and go across and settle, in another island, or basically go to war at another island, I could just basically see, as long as it's given, you would assume that it would give you movement bonuses potentially going through the river, I'm not sure. But even just as like an aesthetic thing to look at, very cool. So what he's basically doing here is going to one of those independent camps, I guess. I think they're just generally called independents, and now he's trying to befriend them. So using influence that he's been building up, he's been able to befriend them. And then I think you can see here the sort of turn progression at the bottom left of the screen, and when it gets to 25 turns is, I believe, then when he has befriended Khotan. And it's really interesting. It's interesting to see kind of what the benefits of that are. They then turn into a city-state, and obviously, as we saw earlier in the video, that, allying with city-states with this civ is very beneficial. So it'll be interesting to see how that one progresses. Interestingly, what he's doing here is he's just got a burning arrow unit, and what he's decided to do with that burning arrow unit is build fortifications. Now, I don't quite understand what these do. He said it'll take a couple of turns. I'm assuming it will just improve the strength of the city, as would like building walls or something like that. Maybe there's, I know with certain units, I think if I'm remembering correctly, with the what's he called now, the Roman civ, Trajan, and using his units, you can build fortifications on certain tiles to give yourself, combat bonuses. Yeah, again, not really sure what it means, but interesting that you can do that. Plays into strategy early game if you're making a unit, and whether you decide to go explore with that unit, that military unit straight away, or you decide to build fortifications. Okay, so I mentioned in the last video in regards to one of the civs and how like celebrations works, or tried to understand how celebrations work, and the fact is I think I got it completely wrong. He's just triggered a celebration here, so it's how happiness plays into the game, right? So you build up a certain amount of happiness, you can trigger a celebration, and you can see here, what he's got available. Either 20 plus percent food for 10 turns, or 30% production towards constructing buildings for 10 turns. So potentially like golden ages, I guess. Is that how it works out? Ages and golden ages and things, but it's more linked with happiness. I don't know if it's set on a how many turns you've completed level, or if it's just triggered by you generating enough happiness. Here we go, exactly what I've been waiting for. He's looking into the masteries now, so you can see there for the masonry mastery, basically you can get +3 combat strength for fortified districts, or +1 production on production buildings. I don't know if that's an and or. It's probably, I think you get both of them if you research the mastery. So I guess it's just something that you can research on top of masonry to get a little bit of extra stuff. So in terms of masonry here, I'm guessing if you're in an early war there, you want that fortified strength and extra production. It could be a benefit. Okay, so this is something new that I've softly seen a little bit about. It's army commanders, and basically, from what PotatoMcWhiskey there has explained, is that you can basically use them as a way of leveling up your other units, and you can scoop them up into the army commander and move them around the map, and then spit them back out. It just seems like a really good way to basically manage your military. So yeah, if I hear anything else, I'll be making sure to let you know. Okay, so he's just met Augustus here, and basically you've got endeavours, you've got sanctions, and it's basically just a way of like managing the relationships you have between the other AI civs. And so you can see there on endeavours, you've got like send aid, local festival, military aid, reconciliation. And then you've got stuff like hinder public morale, hinder military production, things like that. So it's just nice. I guess you did have some of these things in Civ 6, but it's on a nice new screen laid out there for you, and with clear, spends of your diplomatic favour. I think it's really good in terms of, how you build that early diplomatic favour. If you're gonna, prioritise that in this game, PotatoMcWhiskey is definitely, prioritise getting that early diplomatic favour. Okay. It's been a while since we've had anything worth sort of shouting about on this video, because it's all very similar stuff to Civ 6, but he's finally got that suzerain bonus from Khotan. And so this was what he was waiting 25 turns for. So instead of like the way it used to work is you would send envoys to cities, right? Or you'd have a certain amount of envoys to get suzerain bonus from a city. What it is now is you just use your influence then to become suzerain of that city and take over that city. I don't know how it would work with like, to say like one civ become suzerain of a city, how can another, I guess it'll spend influence and overtake you potentially and take control of that city, but I don't know if we'll be able to get to see that in this video. But yeah, I mean, you can see there you get a choice of the suzerain bonus that you want to take. I think you get a choice there. I don't know if it's like you get all of them or a choice. I assume it will be a choice. What it seems here is he's used a settler and he's gone and settled a town, and he's just kind of going through the differences here between towns and cities. So you can't actually, from what it looks like, build any buildings within the towns. I don't get kind of. I'm really struggling to understand kind of what towns are used for then and how they. Yeah, I guess if you can't build buildings in them, I'm gonna keep watching and see what he says. Okay, so he just spoke here about developing this town into a city. And spending gold on it. I'm just being really stupid here because I don't get how that works. Is it you can see there with altar, ancient walls, and granary that there's cost next to them. So maybe you can't build them, but you can purchase them. Growing town is the default focus. Choose a new focus by selecting the above. Yeah, I'm still not quite understanding it. We're still just gonna have to wait and see kind of how that works. Interestingly here you can see, so he's actually gone over the city limit here, the settlement limit, and you can see that the negative impact it's having on his game is a -5 happiness in all settlements per settlement over the limit, to a maximum of -35 happiness. So I'm not sure how you actually get this settlement limit up, because I'm assuming it doesn't just stay at 3 the entire game. Maybe it's dependent on the ages, but because he has gone above that, he's taken a knock on the happiness. Fortunately, in his game, he's got loads of happiness to spare, so it isn't really much of a problem for him, but just something to keep in mind. I think in Civ 7 now, I think I'm going to be so much more aware of Diplo favour and happiness. Like, I can already see how it factors into so much more. I'm really, really loving this. Oh, fantastic! I've sussed it. I've sussed the town to city. So you can see there at the bottom. I was probably missing it before, but there is something right at the bottom of the screen there where you can see on the playback thing. Convert to city, 250 gold. So yeah, that's how you turn towns into cities. Alright everybody, I've admittedly not got much time to kind of watch the rest of the video, so the last like sort of 20 minutes of that I just kind of skimmed through, but we have got to the end of the video now and the end of the age, and I hope that kind of going through this video I've learnt a lot already just from that, and how, cities and towns work in both settlers, how, I forget what they're called now, but the commander units work and how they can pick up all the units and disperse them elsewhere, and how urban districts work and things like that. Really interesting. I'm really, really excited to play this game on Thursday. It's honestly just to go into personal life stuff. I'm getting a bathroom conversion done, and unfortunately, it starts on the Friday after Civ drops on the Thursday. So I'm literally just only nights I can play Civ at the moment, so I'm going to try and get some streams out. I'm going to try and get some videos out, but don't be expecting me to just flood the subscription feed with videos, because I'm going to be very limited in what I can and can't make. Again, thank you for watching this video. The support has been actually insane on the channel recently. I've been getting many more subscribers, lots of views, lots of comments, and I appreciate the support. If you've enjoyed this little look through the game, then please do consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, getting involved in the conversation in the comments below. do keep in mind that these sorts of videos will turn into more gameplay based videos where I'm actually playing the game. It's just currently at the moment, like Football Manager isn't out, Civilization 7 isn't out yet, so when those games do eventually get released, I will probably be playing them. Whether those will be in the form of streams or content videos, we'll see kind of what manifests itself, because I'm really enjoying doing this style of video at the moment. But yeah, I've, again, really enjoyed this, really looking forward to Civ 7. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one.